Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your boy Pascal Eric, and it's time for another Unpack with Paz, the group unpacking session. And today we have a pretty long email. First off, thank you so much for the love on the last video. You guys were awesome. You guys gave your input, and I am so grateful for that. I would need us to come together this time again because this is the point of group unpacking. We all weigh in on the topic of discussion, and we can be able to give the person that sent this email advice or whatever input that we have that would be probably beneficial to them. Remember, this is a no judgment zone. This is a safe space. Even if we judge with love. I don't like saying no judgment because it's not true. Everyone is judging. But we judge with love and with the aim to help and aid better understanding of the life that we are going through. That being said, let's get into reading this email and then we go right into our conversations. Sorry this is coming so late / early, but I couldn't sleep because so much was bothering me, so I had to send a message. By the way, I'm a 20 years old student. That's very important to this email. First off, I would like to say that I really admire you. And while I don't know you personally, you're someone I actually look up to. Stop, oh my God. Also, thank you for giving several others and me the opportunity to message you. So if you do a video, please, I would like to be anonymous. Of course, I got you. I don't know how to even start, and I'm not one to use derogatory terms on myself or even others, but I think I'm a whore. I'm not trying to seek validation that I'm not or anything, but maybe a way to finally accept what happened and move on. So I used to have a boyfriend. I'd liked him since we were in 100 level. We were classmates and all. The start of our platonic relationship was a bit weird because we were friends, but I liked him a lot. And I'm very insecure about my size. I am 5 foot and I weigh 80 kg. Girl, the fact that you're pointing at those numbers thinking I could imagine that, me and numbers don't work well, but got you. So I just assumed he liked skinny girls. Why would you assume that? So when I found out he liked someone and I asked him about it, he denied it. I later found out he lied about that and he was actively dating that girl whilst lying to me. Though they broke up because he said they weren't compatible and stuff like that. He and I started dating in 200 level first semester. I was genuinely so happy because I liked him very much. But then he started to act off. Should have known he was going to act off from the first lie that he gave me in 100 level girl, but okay. I was always really supportive and I'm not really big on gifts, so I didn't ask for much. I was genuinely this boy's biggest bird. I don't like calling women birds. The way you use the here is so funny. I would always say I love you first and always initiate intimacy. Tried to make him comfortable by not being too clingy, but he said he likes clingy girls. Lies, by the way. So the break came and we were separated. But then I begged him to come to Abuja during the break and spend it with a mutual friend at the time. Let's call him Sid. By the way, I have to say this at this point. I had to take this email to Grammarly to edit it so that I'm able to read it well, number one, and two, so that I can give the names to these people. So when she sends the email initially, which is probably the original that I'll put here, you'll see S, you'll see T. So I gave these people the names because I would not be able to keep up if you are saying ST. There's even a part, I think there's J. I never saw J the entire thing, so I was confused which was J. But we'll get the full gist without that, okay? But yeah, I just had to point that out before we go on. Let's call him Sid and my ex, Ted. Sounds like a Ted, even though it's me that gave him the name. I was there with him and we were supposed to hang out, but whenever I texted, he took so long to respond. Then he wanted to change his phone, so he had to sell it first. I understood that he would obviously not be able to speak to me often, and I'd probably have to ask Sid if I wanted to do that. But the day he was selling his phone, I asked him to say I love you, since it would be the last time I would hear from him for at least a few days. He flat out said no. Ted and I had sent each other explicit videos, so I was also trying to ensure he had wiped his phone before selling it. And my sister nearly saw one of those videos, but he was acting really off. Eventually, it was sorted. And one day, when I asked Sid if I could speak to Ted, he told me he was on the phone. And I was like, but he didn't let me know he had bought a new phone. Then Sid switched up and said, I said Ted was on the toilet. Toilet and phone. You know, they rhyme, right? Then Sid shouted at me for disturbing him, and Ted said I wasn't trusting. A few days later, Ted told me he had a phone since then, but didn't feel like texting anyone. Anyone being you, mind you, because he was on the phone with somebody. Let's not act as if Sid did not rat him out, but okay. And when I expressed my insecurities to him about feeling like he would replace me, he said he would do that if I didn't stop acting like a load on him. I continued the relationship. I like the fact that you put I continued the relationship because it sounds like an absurd thing to do. When we got back to school, it became a cycle of him promising to spend time with me doing stuff together, such as reading or going to the market or just hanging out. And he almost always ditched me last minute to hang out with his friends or play basketball without telling me he was canceling. This isn't the main point of my story, but I feel you need this backstory to tell me what's wrong with me. Okay, girl. Then one time, Sid and I got closer as friends. So I found out from Ted that Sid used to go around calling me out my name, telling him and Ted's friends in front of Ted, by the way, that I'm ugly and I'm fat and basically stuff like that. Apparently, it had been going on since Ted and I started dating, and Ted was only telling me nearly 7 months into the relationship, despite the fact that Sid and I had been friends for just as long as Ted and I have known each other, because he didn't like how close I was with Sid. Granted, that's valid. Is it, girl? Is it valid? But before Ted and I started dating, Sid and I were even closer than I was to Ted. So I felt it had no grounds. I also had other male friends who would be there when Sid was saying stuff, but Ted was my boyfriend, so I felt like he owed me more than they did. Plus, I knew him longer than Sid did. I felt betrayed and asked why he didn't stand up for me, but he said Sid wouldn't stop even if he did. How did he know that? Which still made zero sense to me, but okay. Okay. He said he would cut Sid off, and I told him that he should do whatever he wanted to, not because I'm hurt, but because that's what he wants. He and Sid stayed friends. Oh, shocking. I'm so shocked right now. Such good friends that they were spending more time together than before. I said nothing. But then, because I was hurt, I cheated on him with a 500 level boy who had been my friend for a while. He came to cheer me up after I had sent him a VN ranting, and he consoled me. Then one thing led to another and we had sex. 2 times, separate occasions. Ted doesn't know, and I am honestly ashamed of myself. But let me whisper that part. Let it not be like I'm encouraging cheating, but if you cheat on a bastard, honestly, I'm not against it. It became a problem for me when he physically chose to sit with Sid instead of me during a class, and I had kept a seat for him. It was even more embarrassing because I stood up to show him where I was, and his logic was that he had a test. We didn't, but he said he felt like we did. And mind you, I know this woman like the back of my hand. She has structure. And he wanted Sid to help him. Also, not to brag, but I'm smarter than Sid. Girl, you better brag, the fuck. There's so much more that happened, but I need to fit all of this in a reasonable length, and it's not reasonable enough. At this point, we were in 300 level, and a lot of my friends felt like I was crying more than I was happy. Sounds like it, but it didn't matter because I loved him and he made me happy. Oh. We fought a lot at this point, and I was starting to feel weary. Another time, I had flopped a presentation, and he wasn't there to support me. But when he presented before me, I was so supportive of him and clapped loudly. He knew I had stage anxiety, and he couldn't be there for 2 minutes. I ran out crying, feeling so embarrassed. There were great moments too. I'm genuinely shocked they were, girl. Obviously, not so many. But I decided to highlight these bad ones because I had communicated to him how insecure I was, and he promised reassurance and always to be there for me. But he kept putting everyone above me. So yeah. The one thing I like is when you guys send me emails and it's like as if you guys are just texting me. I love it. At this point, coupled with the fact that every time I brought something up, because I made sure to never be upset without trying to explain first and hear him out first, and we resolve the issue, he would initiate sex. And yeah, I loved him, but I felt weird that he would see me cry and get horny in a way. I was drained. Then I broke up with him. I was so sad and I missed him so much. I think it was at this point my downward spiral began. I had a fling with my friend. We had sex a few times, but yeah, let's call him Andy. Then I got into a situationship, and I told the situationship that I wasn't over my ex, so I couldn't give him everything he deserved. and he decided to press on. The situationship was also sexual, but I was still sleeping with my ex at the time. He knew I wanted him back, so he would invite me over, and when I would bring it up, he would say, my friends wouldn't like that. It went on for the rest of 300 level, then I stopped going to see him. I even blocked him and told him I should leave him alone since he clearly doesn't want me back. He came to my off-campus accommodation and told me he misses me and I should unblock him and just give him a bit of time and we will be together again. He even kissed me, not like it matters that much because the night before we had had sex. Hold on, let's pause for a moment. You had blocked him, but then the night before, he was blocked, but then the night before he came to your accommodation and you guys had sex. I'm just getting the details clear, okay? So I unblocked him and I told him about my situationship and he was understanding. He not gonna understand because he mad. Like, okay, now I'm getting irritated. I had to get that out of my system. I ended things with my situationship, but he just kept coming back. I was horny and sad, so I let him come back while waiting on my ex. That was very wrong of me, and I apologized to my situationship. And now he and I are friends. One thing I don't like is the word my situationship. It just sounds very disrespectful to you as a person and to the other person. Like, the word is situationship just sounds very disrespectful to me. But what do you guys think? You guys let me know in the comments. Then the break came again. I texted my ex asking him how he felt about us, and he said he couldn't get back with me and that it wasn't going to make sense. And what would other people say and stuff like that? Okay, let me pause right here and say one thing. I don't know if I've given advices before, but this will be my first advice. Girl, you need to work on your use of like and your use of stuff like that. You use a lot of word fillers and it doesn't make your speech pattern coherent. I don't know if you use this when you are talking, but you use it when you're texting, and if you use it when you're texting, there's a high chance that you use it when you're talking. So check how you use word fillers, especially like, stuff like that. You don't have to put those parts. You've said the point, full stop. But yeah, just had to put that out there. Then I begged and groveled, Jesus. I pleaded and sent him all sorts of texts asking him to give us another chance. I'm not proud of that at all, but oh well. He said no. Said I was disturbing him, and then sent my text to his friends and they laughed at me all together. Then I told him okay, but if he wanted to talk to me again, he should know I would be there. This was August 3rd of last year. I said this on the TikTok that I'm going to be posting later today, even though this will not drop today. And I said the words that will never come out of my mouth are, I'm here when you need me to, especially to somebody who has been rejecting me. No, you shouldn't be there. In fact, you should delete their number and block them into an oblivion. The fuck? I started talking to one of his friends. We had never really spoken prior to that semester and that break. We were talking and we were both kind of interested in each other. Let's call him Ken. Truthfully, I had always thought Ken was hot, so I was on board with the flirting. But neither of us were too serious because we both were worried about the place Ted held in our lives. We said fuck it, then we planned to meet up and frolic in school. But at the last minute, he backed out, saying he couldn't do this to his friend. I was like, yeah, that's fine. Then school resumed, decided to stay away from men entirely, do some girl power stuff, and try to be a better friend to people, especially that former situationship. But as fate would have it, when you avoid men is when they start throwing themselves at you. That is how I met Felix. He was my neighbor's friend. Felix made me feel things, guy. Like the way he spoke to me and was so gentle and kind with me. The first night Felix and I spoke, I was on the roof of my campus accoms and I was trying to download a movie or something. That was around 8. Felix and I spoke up there up until 2 a.m. And it was nothing sexual until the last moment when he asked me if I had liked to get eaten out. And I didn't mind so much that he asked that, but I was definitely taken aback. He told me he was an eater. And he's just putting it out there. We had a few more conversations like that. Felix is also a smoker and he never smoked around me. He was just always making sure I was comfortable. I caught feelings and he told me that he couldn't be in a relationship because he felt he wasn't where he was supposed to be at the time. That's how I got into my second situationship. I don't know if it's TMI, but the first night Felix and I had sex was genuinely amazing. I had never felt so cherished and wanted, and he was so gentle but firm. I liked Felix. Fast forward to October. Ken and I were still texting, but it wasn't sexual anymore. We were still talking. I lived in the GRA area of the village where most students in my school live. So I told Ken I was going to get something in the main village. Then he asked me to come to his house. One thing led to another, and then we had sex. So I was sexually active with two people at the time. Felix was less frequent because, as I said, he was my neighbor's friend, so he wasn't always around. And sometimes he wouldn't call or text me for days. And during those times, I would text Ken. Again, I'm not proud of any of this. Ken and I were strictly casual, but I did have feelings for Felix. But I'm not sure how those can be called feelings if I was fine fucking other people. You can have feelings for other people even while being in a relationship with another person. Let me just say this now. I don't know why people feel like when you have genuine love, not love, affection and attraction towards a person, that you are not going to be attracted to another person. Those feelings are invalidated because of the fact that you have those feelings. Like, no, girl, that's not how it works. That went on for a while, Sha. Then in November, my ex and I started talking again. I initiated the combo. We were coming back from class and we decided to walk home together so we could talk. He apologized for stringing me along and I apologized for begging him even after I was the one who ended things. We both said we liked to get back together. It's good to allow things to end, guys. So we agreed to be friends, and so we were until one day I went to buy something again and I stopped at his house to say hi. We spoke and stuff, and he kissed me. I kissed him back, we had sex, and then I cried. Told him I don't want to do that unless he and I were together. He said he understood. I told neither Felix nor Ken. Mind you, one of the main reasons Ken was cool with us having sex was because he thought Ted and I were totally done. And to be honest, I thought so too, at least until that day. But it didn't happen again while I was with Ken. Felix said he wanted to end things, but I really liked Felix. And I told him it wasn't fair to end things when he hadn't seen or spoken to me in so long. But I said it was fine and I understand. At this point, we had had sex multiple times, and I had even been to his house he shared with his friends, and we had sex there too. He then apologized and said he couldn't end things, so we stayed in the situationship. Ken and I were still having sex too, but I knew Ken liked someone else, and I actively encouraged him to pursue her. So when he called things off, I was kind of glad, sad but glad. I enjoyed the attention from Felix and Ken because I probably felt like if two people wanted me, but Ted didn't, then the problem was obviously with Ted and not me. In January, Felix and I were still together and I was sleeping at his. Ken and I weren't having sex, but I wouldn't say we were over. Then exam rolled around and I was back at mine. Felix and I were good, honestly, and Ken called things off after we had sex one Thursday. Okay, quick recap. Ted, my ex, Felix's current situationship at this point, Ken, ex's friend I was sleeping with, Andy, my friend that I had a fling with shortly after my relationship ended, and at this point I am in 400 level. Then I was feeling sad about this, sleeping with multiple people and all, so I called Andy over so we could talk about it. I didn't tell him exactly what happened, but he knew about Felix. This was the night before my first paper, so I was reading and ranting. Then he kissed me and we had sex. I honestly didn't want to kiss him, but I felt like I owed him. He didn't force himself on me, but I also didn't want to do it but let it happen because I said it would be the last time. Exam continued, saw Felix a few times when he came to see me. We kissed, talked, and stuff like that. Fast forward to early February, Ted said he wanted to speak with me. I told him sure, and he said I should come to his house after exams. We went, we talked, and then had sex. I cried, told him I can't keep doing this with him because I deserve more than that from him. Hypocritical in a way. How is that hypocritical? He said okay and he understands. I told him I wasn't upset with him, but I just felt like I shouldn't be doing things with him if he doesn't want me back. Exams ended a few days after. Fast forward a little past Valentine's, he kept telling me to come over. I was dodging it because I wanted to keep a boundary. But then he stopped responding to my text until when I said I would show up. Got there and we had sex again. Then I cried and told him the same thing as last time. He said he wants to get back with me, but he doesn't want people to talk. I said okay. I really want to finish this email. I don't want to stop halfway and tell you guys to go read the rest, but it's so long. So I'm just gonna put all the emails here so around the screen so you guys can just read it by yourself. Pause here and read, and then I will just skip over to the third paragraph before the ending. Just to reference the last one, her and Nate also had sex. By this point, I had been involved with Nate or the boys from school for at least a few weeks. Then in June, I had sex with the boy from school again, like once, and we have barely spoken since then. Not like we are on bad terms. He's just going through stuff and doesn't like to talk when he's going through stuff. Currently, I've come clean to Felix about Ken, but no one except Andy knows about Felix. Everyone knows about Jay. Who is Jay, girl? Because there was a mistake in the email. Who is Jay? And you guys will say it's because I skipped. But if you go back, you will not be able to read who Jay is. So who is Jay, girl? I've apologized to everyone. Nate and I are barely friends, but he still has my back. How? Rex doesn't text me since he's busy. He's also very much involved in my life somehow. Why? Ken and I are cool. Felix and I are cool. Mo is still very sweet. My current body count is 9. The way you typed that, like you were about to type one big number, girl. And all of this is why I feel like a whore. I just want to know exactly what is wrong with me and also what I can do to be better. I have never thought of myself as lustful, but then I'm so shocked at my behavior. Thank you again for being a listening ear. Also, I have siblings. And the last thing you wrote there, I'm not going to put it because it might also give you away to your siblings in case they follow my channel. So that's the email, guys. Okay, I'm just going to give my advice after reading that outpour. That was an outpour of emotions. And thank you very much for being vulnerable enough to be honest with me, feeling comfortable enough to be honest with me. There must be something I'm doing right for you to feel that comfortable. And I want you to take this as tough love. There is a certain type of validation that you are looking for. You will never find in this man, but you need to find it in yourself. And it is to accept how you look, your body, your mind, your cravings, your desires. You are looking for a certain type of validation that would make you feel better about yourself, which is why you keep giving yourself to these men even when they show you just a little bit of niceness. Them being nice to you, I don't know what you quantify as nice, is not enough reason for you to want physical intimacy with them. I'm not saying you can't just simply want physical intimacy with a person. And to be very honest, I don't agree with you in the term of calling yourself a whore because number one, we don't use such words on ourselves. And number two, there is nothing that you have done that is outside the ordinary of what a 20-something-year-old would do. You are experiencing your life. You are experimenting your sexual side, which honestly is great. I just wish you did it more healthily. So the first point is, there's a certain type of validation that you are looking for in the arms of this man, which is why you keep going back to them, especially the nonsense Ted. That is a fool. Right from the first paragraph of your email, that is a fool. And that is a boy. That is not a man. That is a boy. That is a fool. And you should have stopped talking to him the moment he lied about the girl that he said he did not like or was dating. That was where you should have stopped. But I feel like because he showed you affection and because he somewhat proclaimed that he was attracted to you, you felt wanted. Now, it is that want that I want you to dwell on. That want, that feeling wanted, you need to find it in yourself. You need to be able to give yourself this validation that you want from this man. Secondly, you need to stand up for yourself more. There is a lot of passiveness with how you typed your email that I noticed that also pretty much translates to your personality as a person. You don't stand up for yourself and you abandon yourself a lot. It happened when you supported your ex through the whole presentation thing and he wasn't there. That was enough reason for you to break up with him. That was enough reason for you to be angry. But in your text, you said, but okay, which I'm pretty sure is something that you did too in real life. Like you brushed it off as something that you shouldn't be mad at. Him deciding to not sit with you with the excuse that you felt like there was going to be a test was enough reason for you to be angry. But at the end of that, you said, but okay. There is a passiveness with how you are treated by these people that you need to check. You need to stop letting them walk all over you because that's exactly what they are doing. A lot of these people can sense when you don't have self-esteem and respect for yourself. A lot of them will come as if they are attracted to you, but they just want to leech off of you and have access to you to be able to say, that one, I've done things with her too. And yes, you too, you are doing things with them and you do seem to like the things you're doing with them. But this brings me to my third point. you are not enjoying it all the way because your mind is worried about many things. You need to define what affection, real affection, is to you, what a person has to do to access your body before you can now be able to enjoy sex all the way through. I'm not telling you to stop having sex. Though I do feel like you should take a break from every single person that you're having sex right now with and reevaluate your standards first before you go back to having sex. However, in the exploration of sex, I feel like it is very vital that you enjoy it too. And you are not enjoying it. Especially because when you and Ted do things, you engage in it, but then you are crying at the end. That also ties into you not standing up for yourself because it feels like you are doing these things because they want it, because he wants it, because whoever is in the room with you at that point wants it. Like you said, you felt like you owed that man something. You don't owe anybody your body, regardless of what you have done to them. So I need you to let go of the passive way in which you let people treat you. Stand your ground in being treated better. What's more important is you, how you see yourself. That translates to how people will treat you and you will permit. So the first one is you have to check your self-respect. You have to also define what intimacy, affection, and the access to your body requires. And you have to stop letting people walk all over you. And stop calling yourself all these bad words. No. You are a 20-year-old. I like the fact that you put that in there. And the reason why I said that in the beginning is because I'm kinder and more lenient with younger adults because 25 downwards are like your adult formative years, I like to call it. So I am lenient with you because there's still a lot of years for you to grow your self-respect. And trust me, people are doing way dumber shit at 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Do not judge yourself for being dumb and young. It happens. Because you sound like such a self-aware person, you just need to move from being a self-aware person to being someone who also takes charge of things. You need to take charge of the experiences that you are having. You are moving like someone who is doing things for the plot. A lot of things are detrimental when you do things for the plot. You need to start paying more attention to yourself and the experiences that you are letting yourself have so that you can be able to enjoy these experiences and not look back in regret. I am sorry that you had to experience boys at such a young age that were not even fit to be around women's bodies, regardless of how nice they were. But I need you to get to a point of self-assurance. Be so self-assured because you have such standards that nobody can come and tell you anything. When your ex came and was texting your snap was the time you were supposed to call him a coward. Because what the fuck is, I want us to get back together, but I don't want people to talk. You should never be around people like that. But yeah, my advice for you is work on your self-respect, your self-esteem, your definition of affection, love, and access to your body. Work on your self-image. If that takes mental work, if that takes physical work, put in the work. And after that, I'm pretty sure you're going to move differently like someone who actually likes themselves. But you have to get to a point of liking yourself. Okay? But I want to say thank you again for letting me into your world and into this tiny piece. It must have been difficult to be this vulnerable. I'm so glad and I appreciate the fact that you respect me with your time and your story. If you're watching this and you have input about what I've said, what was said, just generally give all the input that you have in the comment section. Everything is welcome. This is Group Unpacking, so the point is so that everybody will weigh in on the conversation. I'm hoping that this will elevate at some point to the point where I can be inviting random guests and we'll be dissecting these emails together. That being said, thank you very much, you guys, for watching to this point. Click that like button, share this to someone who you feel would have a great input in the email that we receive. Drop a comment because it's always welcome, even if it's a heart, which don't drop it. And click that subscribe button because it's very important. Okay, we'll see you guys in the next group unpacking video. This was Unpack with Paz. Bye guys, love you.